Good afternoon to all. Thank you so much for having me here. Ahon sa Hirap, which I represent, or ASHI in short, is a foundation founded by a young professor in UP Los Baños some 30 years ago through a grant. He used this grant to visit Mohammed Yunus in Bangladesh to learn the Grameen methodology which Yunus had designed and which at the time was gaining prominence. Dr. Octavio Generoso brought back to the Philippines what he learned in Bangladesh and started ASHI in Los Baños. The startup of ASHI was rather difficult. Changing mindsets is always difficult. At that time, the prevailing societal concept was that poverty in the country was caused by our Juan Tamad attitudes and practices. Guilty. I also thought that way. But having worked with ASHI, I've learned that poverty is largely the absence of options. The poor are trapped by their situation and just needing a helping hand to make them see the way out. Microfinance offers them an opportunity to restart their lives with a small non-collateralized loan which they can pay for at small doses. To use their words, drop lang. It protects them from taking loans from the usual loan sharks who exact an interest of 20% per month. So ASHI now takes care of more than 89,000 members, Nanays as we call them, across 9 provinces. You might ask, why just women? Why just Nanays? If the goals of economic development include improved standard of living, reduction in inequality, and respect for human rights, women should be the primary target. They are the financial managers of the home and hardly ever give up on their children, who are the future of our country. Other than focusing on women, ASHI is actually all-inclusive in terms of race, ethnicity, or religion. We have the Magats, Mangyans, and Etas among our members. Getting a loan is just an opening to get the trust of the Nanay. Over time, we hope to liberate Nanay in these regards. We want her to be free to engage in a decent job that does not exploit them. We want her to be free from want, able to provide for the basic needs of her family and enjoy a decent standard of living. Then we want her to be free to develop and realize one's human potential. Then we want her to enjoy freedom of thought and speech, free to participate in decision-making and to form associations, free from fear of threats to personal security from violent acts, free from injustice and violations of the rule of law. These are the 7 fundamental freedoms defined in the Charter of the United Nations, which you and I enjoy and take for granted. Membership in ASHI is for life. We take care of the Nanays from enrollment to expiration. We do not give up on anyone. Let me give you a rundown on how we run our operations at ASHI. There is actually a modicum of science involved. First, the Nanay has to qualify to be extremely poor. We go around the barangay looking for potential members. we use a tool called the Poverty Probability Index, or PPI, which calculates the likelihood that the household is living below the poverty line. Most of the very poor live in rural areas, so most of the time we are there. Their houses are built with light materials, located in danger zones. Sometimes, the ground is already their floor. Lucky if they have 4 walls. Many cannot afford electricity, so they still use candles or lamps for light, wood for cooking. They do not have money to consult a physician. Instead, they go to an albulario. When I was new at ASHI, I was wondering why the cause of death was usually heart failure. Well, the poor go see a physician only when they are very sick and about to expire. So when they die, what can the poor doctor say but put heart failure? It is not surprising if they have no birth certificate. In fact, their dead have no death certificate. And many are not officially married, so just living in. So we invite potential targets to a meeting where we tell them about ASHI and get to know them better. We weed out those who have membership with other microfinance to avoid over-indebtedness. The first meetings are very important for motivating and making them shake off their mindsets. For the longest time, they have made themselves believe or have been made to believe, even by their own parents, that they are hopeless and that they will remain forever poor. The biggest challenge actually is to shatter these oppressive mindsets and make them discover their God-given endowments. During these meetings, we also go out of our way to know and motivate the family, because experience has taught us that a supportive husband and family are one of the key factors of a nanay's success. In one of these sessions, we asked them to group themselves into 5 so that they would seek like-minded applicants who they feel they would be more comfortable with. This is actually the start of expanding their concept of family. The psychological benefit of group membership is immense. Responsible behavior is developed within the group. It is the group as a whole that approves the loan of every member. Thereby, each member would feel morally responsible for every member's loan. When any member of the group gets into trouble, the group normally helps out. Thus, they help each other keep in line with the objectives of the ASHI program. Then, we make them draw their dreams. We encourage them to be bold and not to limit their dreams. After all, it does not cost anything to dream. The more popular dreams are about owning a nice home, sending the children to school, and having enough to eat. We educate prospective clients about ASHI membership, the products and services, the costs and benefits for them, their responsibilities and accountabilities, including the solidarity policy on default. Everything has to be transparent and well understood, because many of them neither read nor write. We assure the members that ASHI will always be around in support of them. And those elected are assigned to report to a center where they will meet other groups. The rules of engagement are simple. They are to meet with other members once a week at an appointed time and place. At the start, They meet under the trees or in somebody's house. As the group solidifies, they build a center which is like a clubhouse, like these ones. We introduce them a pledge which they need to commit to memory and live by. In these weekly meetings, where all monetary transactions are conducted, part of the agenda is for the development officer to provide education in small doses. The startup loan is only 5,000 pesos or less, depending on the amount the applicant is comfortable with. She also chooses the term of the loan, which can be up to 2 years if she wishes. The weekly payments are designed so that members should be able to handle the payments without sacrificing their basic quality of life. You will be surprised how getting the first loan overwhelms some of them. To most of them, it is a milestone in their life. Nobody has ever trusted them with such a big amount. Many would even cry in disbelief that an institution has trusted them with this amount. To get her first loan in ASHI, Nana is enrolled in a bank to get an ATM. Our Nanay now brandishes her ATM card to show off to her neighbors with a smile that now she is digital. You might think it is risque to give them their loan right away, but the point is to immediately explore their potential or to build on skills that they already have. The poor have an innate survival skill. It's amazing. They actually have basic intelligence to see what is good for them. Imagine, given their abject situation, they still have their wits and are able to be very much alive. I keep on wondering how I myself would have fared in their situation. How would you live on 100 pesos a day and still put a smile on your face and still be happy? Because they are. Many of us would think maybe they should be given a seminar first to learn how to run a small business. Yes, we do that actually eventually, but we do not delay in making the new member experience soonest the freedom to decide for herself how to proceed with her new life in ASHI. Most of the nanays start with small businesses, buy and sell whatever they can lay their hands on, like fresh or dried fish, fruits and vegetables, or open a small sari-sari store. As they progress, they move on to bigger businesses, like making a bamboo sala set, cooking merienda items, making slippers, bags, rugs, soap, candles, quilts, dressmaking. Some go into farming, fishing, poultry, or swine raising. And some provide service like massage, haircut and dye, nail polish, makeup, whatever. The small doses of education that the nanays are given every week at the center meetings cover mundane matters like hygiene, sanitation, recipes, health tips, as well as weighty topics like credit discipline, financial tech, clients' rights and protection, climate change, gender education, which includes parenting, active nonviolence, and on election year, how to vote wisely, and many others. Our investment in educating the nanays actually served ASHI well during the pandemic. It was really very touching that the nanays continued to pay their weekly dues during lockdown because they knew that the amount would grow big over time. And they were also scared that if we do not continue their support, ASHI might close. It was really so touching, and yet we acknowledge that we have started to build character. These weekly meetings also offer the Nanay psychosocial benefits because they're a welcome break from their daily grind. An oasis where the Nanays can let go, air her problems to an understanding group, and in general, enjoy the company of her fellow Nanays. Actually, their favorite topic is their husbands. As one Nana exclaimed, hindi lang pala tayo pang kusina lang. We Nanays are not just for the kitchen. And then there was a Nana who exclaimed, "Oh, it's my first time to dance." For the 4th year of her membership at ASHI, the Nana is usually more financially stable. Through time, with good credit rating, she may loan a bigger amount for the needs of her growing business. Credit rating is determined by repayment behavior, attendance at center meetings, and cash flow. The maximum loan possible is 150,000 pesos. Now, client protection is practiced at ASHI. All members are enrolled in microinsurance, which provides life and non-life coverage. Husband as well as 3 children are also insured. This may be small sums to you: 50,000 for the life of the member, 35,000 for the husband, and 15,000 for each child. But these are enough to make a difference if anyone should die or have an accident. When they are very sick, ASHI connects with friendly doctors and specialists who have the Nanays medicated. The ASHI Code of Ethics requires that all clients be treated with dignity and respect, even when they fail to meet their contractual commitments. We do not give up on anybody unless they give up on us. If she fails the first time, she's encouraged to try again through what we call a resiliency program to get her back to the highway. She's given another loan at a much lower interest. At ASHI, it is forbidden to subject a borrower to abusive language or threats. It is forbidden to harass borrowers at their place of work or at any unreasonable times of the day or night. It is also forbidden to enter the borrower's dwelling forcibly and seize property. So we really have no need for lawyers. But the proof of the pudding is that the method works. Before the pandemic, the repayment rate was 98% and par at 5%. That was before the pandemic. During the pandemic, it went down to 80%. Just the same, it was heartwarming how the Nanays would attempt to send their payments. If there was a lockdown in their barangay, they would say, "Magtagpuan na lang tayo sa border ng barangay." Amazing, really. We have 89,000 success stories to tell. Actually, we already collected 100 of them in a book edited by Dr. Luna Sikat of UP. I can tell you about Nanay Angie, who, when she started, lived in a hut that had only 2 walls. When she became an ASHI member, she opened a small store at home while her husband would carry a heavy load of household items on his back to peddle house to house. They were eventually able to send 4 of their children to college, 3 of whom are now working abroad and are doing very well. Eventually, Nanay was able to build their dream house, according to her, with tiled floors. And then there is Nanay Feli in Antique, who prides herself with nurses, 2 policemen, and a lawyer. There's Nanay Marlene, who won a Citibank Award for entrepreneurship. She managed a tricycle service with ex-detainees as drivers. Then there's Nanay Laarni, another Citibank awardee, who started with fish fingerlings. She was so successful, she was able to open a grocery store. Then there's Nanay Cecil, established herself as an event photographer in her community to record big family events. Nanay Adora became a good dressmaker. She was contracted to sew school uniforms. To deliver the orders, she turned her community into a uniform factory. But to me, the greatest testament of success is the fact that one half of ASHI management are the children of our nanays. ASHI's work is supported by coalition building. For funding, we get Land Bank, Union Bank, and OICO, who offer uncollateralized loans at lower than market rates. To improve the quality of life of the families, ASHI works with partners like the following: Pure It, to provide clean drinking water. This has actually reduced diarrhea in households. Then we have the water.org, enables a supply of clean water and sanitation. By the way, Matt Damon, the actor, is one of the biggest supporters of water.org. So I finally met him personally. Hybrid Social Solutions provides solar lighting and small solar appliances. And Ang Hortalisa Foundation Incorporated trains our nanays to become beauticians. TESDA trains those who want to learn skills like cooking, baking, massage, and similar other skills. Jollibee trains those who are into farming to become farm entrepreneurs. And then we have Build Change, whose mission is to build resilient communities. Our work at ASHI is just scratching the surface of the poverty problem. A good thing there are other microfinance institutions now which are operational, and even rural banks are offering microloans. But we are faced still with a big challenge because there are 20 million poor households to work on. And you know very well that they breed very fast. If our government is truly serious about being inclusive, lifting the economic condition of our poor sector represents a big potential that can really boost the economy of our country.